20s and had just started my career, you go to networking events, you have these amazing conversations, you get the person's card, you put it in your purse, and then you go home. A week later, do you remember what you were talking about with that person?
No. And you don't remember the card. You better hope you find the card. Let's be real. Let's get out. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss this. You're absolutely right. I got
So
cards right now on this desk. Like I still got to call people back, and I mean, yeah.
don't talk about that. I got a stack here too. My
They sit
point
right here
is,
on this desk.
here's my point. My point. I got 2 points. So for one, last year I came back, I pulled out my bag. You probably can't see it, but I pulled out my bag.
Huh? Uh-huh.
And in my bag, I had all kind of folders and pamphlets and
That's me.
very,
Yep.
very, very helpful information. So as
Yeah.
a mom, when I'm up at night, I'm reading things always, guys, because I can't sleep and I love that data, right? But this school is a next step school. So wherever he is now, I'm starting to already look at what happens at 7, 8, 9, 10. That's stressful. But I have a little note here from the conversation that I had with the person that was at the desk. So write yourself a little note.
You have a conversation with the person. That's you though, because that's what you do. That's like you can't live without. Are we serious right now?
What
Family,
if they're
people,
talking,
caregivers. She has a. This is what she does.
if they're
Okay.
talking, so if they're
Now,
talking
what's your
to you,
other tip for the people like me and the rest of the world who going to forget to do that? What are you going to have? What do we need to do? We're
well,
not
okay,
going to do. We're going. What's another tip?
well,
That
okay,
is the
okay,
most beautiful thing I ever heard because that's you. Like what's going on? Like we're
okay.
gonna.
Okay, but when you go to the table, what are you doing? You just grabbing a flyer, or are you talking to the people?
We're talking to them. I think we're. I know they're talking to me. They're getting the information. But it's what my husband always says. He's like, "Where is the follow up? Who contacts who
Who?
afterwards?"
Yes,
Because he's huge on the follow up. Did you follow up? And no, I did not, because those white cards are sitting on this desk right now because
but
I
you're
didn't get.
not. You as the vendor are not gonna remember. Like I stalked Mia. That's how I got her because I stalked her. She thought
You
she was.
did. He did. She stalked me.
I
She
came back,
did.
but
And I'm
out of,
very happy that you did
but
because you
out of
have a
all the
beautiful
people that
relationship
I
right now.
met, I kept writing on a piece of paper. So I got that piece of paper that had all the vendors' names, and I would either circle and I would write books, son, whatever, book, son, talking, because my kiddo has limited language and he's
Correct.
a boy, and I want him to talk, and he loves books. So I
Okay.
circled, right? Um, there's
But what about, I think, because we just went, when did we go? It was like last month. We
yeah,
went to, so we started, I think it's still on us sometimes to contact them as opposed to them contacting us.
yeah.
I don't know what the disconnect is, but there is a disconnect because you're right. The card goes in the bag and the bag goes home in the closet and you forget. And then you start the process back over next year.
Yeah.
So somebody has to follow up. You're 100% right because somebody has to follow up with somebody. I
Yeah.
just don't
Well,
know who necessarily does it.
we as vendors are gonna follow up with you. But then when we do, I don't want you to forget why we're following up. Because you said something amazing to us. You're like, I have a child, I have a grandchild, I need this thing, and
Yeah,
can you
that's
help
true.
me? And we're
That's
like
true.
writing little sticky notes, and then we're like, Miss Johnson, grandson needs help,
That's true.
basketball. And then we call her, and either it was the wrong number because we couldn't read her handwriting, or she
Those are facts.
phone, or she thought I was spam. So with networking, it does have to be, in my opinion. I'm gonna ask at the spectrum table, and I know Mia does this. We're gonna say, hey, can you follow us on social media?
Yes. Yes.
If you're on
That's going to
social
be your,
media,
yes.
follow
Yes.
us on social media,
Yes.
because this way we can find a way to engage. You see
Yes.
my face, you hear my voice, and
Yes.
then I could see that you are a new person that joined, and we have a process of following up with new people,
Yes.
especially if I got the sticky note that says, Miss Johnson, you know, somehow Miss Johnson and I, we need to connect, right?
Yeah.
If I got to come down to, you know, calling you and sending you a message or whatever, you know, but the handwriting on those sign-in sheets is not legible. It's just, I
So this
can't
is
read
what
the
I was
phone
going to
number.
do. I'm thinking about bringing my laptop and they type it in themselves.
Okay.
Because I just went to a fair and I couldn't read something. Me and Brenda were like, I said, I can't read this. And she couldn't read it. And it wasn't on, they just says that's how people write. It's nothing. But if they type it in,
Yeah.
then I have the information. So I
Yeah.
think for this fair, I am going to bring the laptop.
Yeah.
It's probably going to take them some time, but I'll have the
Second. Yeah.
template sitting. I have the template sitting up there, and then they can type in their whatever their stuff is, and
Yeah.
then I can now I have it, and I can
Yeah.